Hello and welcome to another episode of Space Engineers. And no, this is not our typical world. I am off in my testing world, where I have creative and a bunch of mods on, just test things and make some designs for me to use. As you can see, various iterations of the asteroid base, specifically this one with the beams to reach the exterior for the various bits. Now, I will in the future be expanding out and designing some rooms here, but that is going to be in the future. Today we are looking to build the jump drive systems. And what are you? You are an extra little fighter. Get rid of you. You do not belong here. So I want to take, as I do for most of my designs, as I am not that good at making original designs, I like to just take other people's designs and modify them, because that is where my skill lies. We are going to do a jump system. And we're going to take this THI 910 Orbital Jump Drive Mark II from Wipa. We're going to take this thing and we'll pop it into the world here and see how this goes. We'll local grid align it and drop it down. Now, I really like this thing. I think it would be actually quite useful for sort of your average distances that you want to go. It's got a pair of jump drives in it. One there, plenty of batteries. So if you get this thing fully charged, because one jump drive is one battery in terms of extra power. So every pair of batteries is a whole nother jump for these, a whole nother 4,000 kilometers that this thing can propel your ship. So, I mean, there's another jump, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 spare jumps. Oh, yeah, that's all of them. 10 spare jumps that this thing has, while also having the solar panels, and then you run the solar alignment script through the programmable block here with the remote control block. And then this thing will automatically rotate as need be to keep the solar panels to the sun, which will allow it to recharge as you're not using it. The bad part about this one is that it is too small for my needs right now. I want to be able to jump around the Khopesh. So let's just grab my I'll just grab the base Khopesh Usagi. That works. Whip it around here, and we can see if we place it right there. Yeah, that is not gonna fit into that hole. It's a little bit too big. But this thing would be perfect for small ship fighters, small ship cargo haulers, or mining ships and stuff like that. That's what this should be for. But I want to build basically something like this, but that can carry the Khopesh, which is going to be, I say, a fair amount bigger. So let's take this and let's move it off just slightly. I want to be able to refer back to it for some building inspiration. And I'm going to build something that is going to surround the Khopesh. Maybe not surround it, but it's going to function with the Khopesh. And I'm going to, first thing here, is let's get that connector online in the bottom of it. Just like so. Now, the unfortunate bit is that he did make this Khopesh even. So there isn't a central line that I can put one of the connectors on. So I have to make this thing a little bit wider for this to be able to work nicely. Where this has a center line and then it's an odd number, as I find most of my ships are. So that way you can have a nice clean center to your ship. This has its connector off. So we have to make this a little bit bigger. But that is alright. We can cope with that. Come on, local grid align, please. Let's try to align these block as best we can. And we're going to place a block there. get a connector on top of it. And I believe for now, we'll just have a little block. Now, to start off, I'm going to get some various... There we go. We've got some... oh my... What is... I can't... It's the weekend, man, for me. I'm taking the week off. My brain is not functioning when it comes to, like, what things are called. These are symmetry modes. God damn. But here we are. And I think what I want to do is I've kind of already sort of pre-planned what I believe would be a decent shape for this. We're going to have, like, sort of this little egg here that this will sit in. And then down here we'll have a half block just to fill out the little egg. That's what you're going to connect to. We'll get a half slope here. Might have to turn off the symmetry in order to get a good view on that for a moment. And symmetry back on to place. Excellent. So from here, then we shall extend out with batteries on the arms. 6 blocks. We have to think about how much out do I need to go in order to get outside of this Kopesh's area. 6 blocks, 7, and then maybe there'll be a couple bit more. But that should be enough to fit. Now that I've got this with power and stuff like that, let's go and connect up to it with the Kopesh so that we can hold it in place. So we'll maneuver our connector nice and close, and then we should get the magnetism relatively soon here. There it is. And that will cause that thing to fly away. Come on. Oh god, no, no! It has no dampeners on it because it has no thrusters. Come on. Park, there you go. I caught it. And before I crash into that thing. I'm so good at this. Not really, but I'm just faking it till I make it. Okay, so I think as long as it's that wide, I should have enough distance, and I can put basically, the idea being, we can put some drive pods over here. So put a light armor block for some spacing, and then we'll have jump drives all along like this. And what I'm thinking is 5 drives on each arm, and then down here I can turn off the symmetry, and I could have, if I remove this little bits, I can get a drive flat underneath here, and then 5 drives along the bottom. Not like that. Like this. 3 going back that way, and 1 going this way. And so that way, it's kind of like these 3 sort of warp drives that this thing is going to go and connect to. Now, it looks kind of shitty when it's just like that, so we probably want to go and add some armor banding to this in some places. So, put our reflection stuff back in, our symmetry modes, and what I'm thinking is this down to the tip, like so. It'll go up to tip here, and then band. Over the edge, and then sort of like, it's kind of like these are latched on, like they're sort of metal clasps sort of thing. In which case, I should probably move this back one. I can make this a little bit deeper here. Move this to here. Move that one to there. Give this a full block. Give this the half thing, and then have both of the things over the top here be half blocks, like that. And then from here, this just comes out here, and we'll repeat that downwards, adding these sort of clasps going backwards. So you can see all of the drives from the exterior, but then all of them have these wonderful metal clasping. I kind of really like this design. Like when I made my Rhino rover, I did this kind of thing to it as well, with these sort of metal clasps holding the cargo containers in place. It gives it a look of sort of the structural component to it without being like completely surrounded by armor and, you know, costing way too many resources. And hopefully you guys do like these sort of design types videos where I'm just playing around with making a ship and getting it set up for use in the series. There's that. Now just that down that way. And then the clasp like that. Nice. And so that way, it's like all these jump drives are just clasped into position. We can make this arm here a little bit thicker, a little bit stronger by probably putting in, would be a good choice here. Putting in those. Like so. Give it a little bit of a thicker feeling to it. We could also even increase the arms a little bit going into it. So right here, we can further increase that by doing, oh god, is there, I don't know if there's a shape that fits that spot, but we can increase the arm's thickness right here by doing this slope. Like so. I have to orient without the symmetry on, and then turn it back on once it's oriented. Looks like there's a nice thickness to that arm. And then we can go out. Alternatively, what we could even do is, if we don't want to have this sort of clasping effect on the outside, is we could like fully wrap these around and just have the drives exposed along the top. But I kind of like what this is. It's like everything's just sort of strapped in. This definitely isn't something that will defend itself quite well against pirate raids or anything. This is entirely just a transport device that we will latch onto and use to teleport ourselves around. So with that, now down the middle, we shall do, what should we do here? That's equivalent to being on this edge, probably, yeah, right up to the edge here, and then we'll do the block there and the half slab going down, and then we'll, ooh. Oh, we should probably clasp from the side here, most likely. Yeah, like this, and then have the clasp come in at the bottom, like so. Yeah, that'll look best. So I'll go back and do that. And yeah, we'll do a nice solid beam going back here. This going to there. And we've already got the batteries in that position. I wonder if I even need to do anything over the front of this. I don't even think I do. This needs to be the slope base. God, I can't align these things. There we go. It just looks weird because of the, Wait, is that how I wanted to do it? No, it's not. I wanted to do it with solid block, and then I wanted to do it with the tip. Yeah, that's how I wanted to do it. Like so. And these can be half coming down here. Now it's trying to place blocks up where like where the Kopesh is, but hopefully the Kopesh will not have blocks pasted into it. And then here, for these beams of batteries, let's do a block like that. And then just the clasping here. Right there. So yeah, essentially, we've got it so that if we just removed the jump drives from this equation for what this looks like, which we should be fine, nothing will fall apart. We have these 3 clasping structures in that position that are just holding jump drives in place for us to use, and are not, like, you know, anything special in that sense. Oh, did these, this fall off here? Yes, that fell off. Damn. Oh well, I'll fix that in a second. But yeah, I think this will look good. So let me just place those drives back in here in a moment. But first, let's fix a couple of these incorrect spots here. And then we can move on. So with this jump drive setup, we're going to need an absolutely incredible quantity of gold, because holy crap, this is going to take all the gold in reality, essentially, for me to get this done. As it's going to be like, it's going to be like goddamn, like, infinite gold. Like, every one of these drives needs 1,000 superconductors, and they all need gold, and the gold is only like 1% refinery. So once I get this design placed into the world on the blueprint, it's going to take like literal like days upon days of me mining gold in the game in order to get this done and to get this thing built. Oh, I should have symmetried that. Oh well, I can get this fixed. There we go. And then what is this? Doesn't have anything there. We don't really need this front. It is not relevant. We just need this clasp to be rebuilt, because this clasp fell apart for some reason. That's down to a slab and a slab, then a slope corner and a tip. Alright. So let's go and reposition all of the jump drives now. So I can center each one on a clasp. Right there. And then we can drag it back and get 5 of them there. And same thing here. Center it on a clasp. Drag it back. Get 5 on that one. And 5 of them here. Now, we should... I'm going to buff up this arm a little bit more like I did on the one side. Yeah, I just need to do it on this other side here as well. How did I do that? Alright, just that way. Easy peasy. Get that in there. Get that there. And then that, and oh god, turn off symmetry so you can actually see what I'm doing. There we go. There. Now, so far, my only downside to this is, oh, that should probably be removed, is that this this arm here is relatively fragile. So maybe what I should do is get rid of that bit there and run a half block all the way along here to the center. Or even a full block. Just because I can. Just to buff up these supporting arms a little bit, because yeah, you don't want your arms to be shot out and to lose all of your jump drives on an arm just because it got shot out a little bit. Oh, I don't think there's even a block that can fit this corner, which really sucks. And they really need to add some more armor shapes into this game. Like a block that goes from here to here. That would be a wonderful block to have. Because I do have extended armor on this particular save. But it does me nothing when, you know, that kind of stuff is happening. You know, when I run into this shit. So what I should probably do here is... I don't even know. What would be the best way? Probably solid block there. Remove that. Go to that and... oh god. Rotate the right way. That. Which gives it a nice, strong feeling to it. Nice. And if I get rid of that, I can run half slopes the entire way along. Ooh, that looks kind of nice. Then here I can run, and I am doing this without symmetry because I'm an idiot. I'll have to redo this again later, which is unfortunate. I could do that there. And I could do that there to kind of make it fit in. Remove that block. Just put a solid block here. Yeah, this is the kind of armor finicky stuff that I get into. But I'm just like, is this the right way to do this? Sort of feeling. And then, oh, and then I can do that. And then I can make this a solid block. And then that's looking more like a beefy arm going out there. If I repeat this on this side as well. And then I just have my batteries along here. Yeah, I think that'll be a nice beefy arm. So I'm going to quickly do that. You guys don't need to hear me ramble all my way through as I build up that that bit on the other parts here. Okay, so I think I've got this armor shaping all done here for these arms. It is nice and solid looking. Going out to the arms, holding on to these jump drives with dear life as we power away from our position there. I'll probably color this in a moment here as well. What I think I need to do is we also want to put on remote control onto this thing so that it can fly itself if needed. So we're going to go remote control on the front there, and we'll probably tuck that in with some armor, whether that be corners or probably light corner tips. Yeah, that probably works the best. Yeah, that works the best for the shape of the armor there. That looks awesome, actually. So we have this remote control. The benefit of that is we're eventually going to add some solar panels to this thing, I believe. Would it be best to put solar panels on this? Or would it be best to allow this thing to plug into something to charge? That's a really good question. And also, I need some more batteries on it. Because of right now, let's see how many batteries it has. Locally, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So it doesn't have enough charge to fully recharge itself before it jumps out. But also, this is kind of a nice thing, is that when the Khopesh is connected, you can just walk right up into the Khopesh. You don't need anything beyond the gravity. So you can just walk down here and walk around and inspect it as it's all connected up. Oh, that's actually kind of awesome. So we need a programmable block. We'll bury that into the floor here. We'll have it facing outwards, like so. So we got a programmable block accessible through there. And the idea being is that we could, if I want to do this with solar, we can put Izzy's script on that will allow this thing to slowly rotate to do solar power. The most annoying thing, though, is I hate that solar isn't freaking centered. That really pisses me off. There's gotta be a mod out there. I've searched for centered solar, but I get like old mods, like really old mods. Like Keen, if you're watching, this is like the one thing that pisses me off the most. Why can I not have this be centered within that block? If I could have it right down the middle here. Oh, it would look so good. But having it like one step up makes me feel horrible inside. Like this guy makes it work over here. Kind of. Yeah, he makes it work. But I don't know. I guess I just have to make it work as well if I want to go solar on this thing. Alternatively, I have a little thruster group onto this. This also needs some gyros in order for it to be able to orient itself. And I could basically make it a very, very slow ship that would hardly be able to fly. But it could, theoretically, fly, have a connector on the nose here. Like if I grab a connector out as well. And I could have a nose connector on it, right below the remote control. This thing could go and fly up to the base and dock with it and just steal power from the base to recharge in between, like, flight missions. We could even put, like, a camera on it, like so, right on the remote control. Come on. Which orientation is this for camera? I believe that's looking correct. So if I grab this thing, give it an antenna, which again is a huge item, but I'll just slap it on for now. And let's disconnect the Khopesh from here and pull it away just to look at this thing by itself now that it's got some shape. And I know it's at least large enough to house the Khopesh. And you can go there, and I'll just get rid of you. Okay, that looks kind of cool. That actually does look kind of cool when it's by itself. It's like this jump thing. We can take it over. We can go to remote access. Not available. Remote control ready. Wrong ownership. Oh, am I not broadcasting as well? Control panel, it's all to me. I should be able to remote access, control. Excellent. And take view out of the camera. I can see my character there. I can't move or do anything because I have no gyros or thrusters on this thing yet. But I could have this thing be remote piloted, and I can go and have a plug-in essentially on the front of the ship so that I could go and plug this thing in, get it fully powered off of base power instead of having to deal with solars for it. I could do something like that. Take this antenna, and more than likely we'll put the antenna array right back here in the center, because that kind of looks cool. We'll also sink some more batteries into this thing. I'm thinking I'm going to cut this piece out and make these batteries. And what I should probably do, instead of orienting the batteries that way, I should orient the batteries so that their power number lights are showing like so. So the battery also goes, I believe, one more in. Yep, and then it's armor. No, it's still battery in there. Nice. So then I'll do, again, batteries facing sort of like when you're coming up behind this thing, and you'll be able to see the state of all the batteries before you lock on. Just like so. Right into the body of it there. And here. And then it was 2 in. So 1, 2. Total blocks. Come on, 8. And we'll put those in there. So now it has more than enough power to recharge itself. And all we really need to do is give it a little bit of thrust. Maybe some ions, so that way I don't have to deal with like running hydrogen for it. And I don't even think we'll need to have solar on this thing. We can just have this be a full-on electricity and have it just fly to plug into the base when it gets back to recharge itself. Who needs solar power when you've got the power of the base, which is running on solar power? So it's solar power through an additional extra step. That's all. But I think it'll work out. Let's put a gyro on this. And remote control on it again. And just get it turned around. Because it is kind of sucky to be looking at it here into the darkness. Let's rotate. So remote access control. Oh yeah. rotate into the sunlight so I can actually see what I'm doing. Excellent. Yeah. Alright, so now for thrusters, we'll have a little ion cluster here. We have enough batteries, so we don't need to worry about that. We'll just grab the ion thrusters. We could move this antenna and just have a single large thruster like that backwards for ion. Alternatively, we could even do like ion thruster on each arm and actually make this thing a proper ship. We'll save that as an upgrade for the future. I think just a single ion thruster. This is not going to break any speed records or anything. It is just meant to be a just a ship to help you get around, essentially, to jump you to places, and then have a little bit of station keeping while we're there. Or do I even have the ion thrusters in the center at all? Or do I put them all on the exterior arms? That is a good question. Because I could just do this, where I'll have... Let's see. A pair of thrusters up, a pair of thrusters to the side, pair of thrusters down, sort of thing. And I could sink these in a bit more if I wanted to by expanding out this thrusters. So I could do these here. I could do these here. I could put other stuff into the center here, just like, say, armor blocks for now. Don't need that armor block there. And then put the large thruster kicking off the back of this little thruster cluster. And that gets majority of my directions. Then small thrusters like, say, like so. Yeah, with the inset there. Or even back on the thrusters itself here. Yeah, like that. And then I can just properly armor this up so it looks good, add some gyros to this, and then somewhere add a couple braking thrusters. But I think we can see what the general design of this sort of jump sled almost is going to be like. And it's going to be large enough and wide enough so that it is going to be able to accommodate basically any ship that is capable of fitting within this dock, which is a pretty large and spacious area. As long as the ship doesn't like curl down around its docking port, it'll probably be able to dock with this and use its massive jump array in order to go practically anywhere. I am going to clean up this design, maybe add some more batteries to it just so that it has extra power if it needs it, and figure out what I want to do with the thrusters. The more I think about it, the more I kind of like it if maybe the thrusters were on the arms and they looked good there, and then I could have some gyro and antenna array here in the center. But I'm going to figure that out off camera because that's just me being picky. I feel like this has been an interesting video. It's just me designing a ship. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. And in the next episode, we'll be bringing this into the survival world where we'll project it out onto a projection setup that I'm going to create. And then the episode will continue with me harvesting all of the goddamn gold that I'm going to need from this. Also platinum. If I'm going to do ion thrusters here, I'm going to need platinum. So I'm going to have to go find some of that too. That's going to be it for now. We have our jump ship, and I need to figure out what I'm going to call this thing. So if you have any good names for it, let me know on Discord, as that would be the best place to get in contact with me. But that is going to be it for now. Thanks for watching, and good hunting out there, fellow engineers.